Welcome to the third part of my personal guide to Kickstarter. Now today we are talking about the bad and ugly part of Kickstarter. Now what do I mean with the bad and ugly part? Not every project will get these great, or not every project, let's say it this way, is managed in a great way like the other ones I talked in the last episode. Some of them are part of a scam to get your money, but some are, I don't know, I think some creators lose a little bit the fun to work with them. Some just think now that I have the money, they don't need to give the backers some information, or some just don't care in so many ways. And this is just something I hope with these videos I can give to future creators, that they don't do the same mistakes like these people and may avoid some of the bad press that they get. And yes, even if I want to say that I don't want to name and shame specific creators, there are at least two on this list I will give a warning to, because I think what they do is something very, very bad for at least for the backers. But you will see what I mean when I get to them. So yeah, let's take a look at some of the bad and ugly projects I have experiencexperienced. But before we begin, I want to give one special mention to a project that at least shows you that not every bad project will end in bad blood for all of the people, for the creator and also for the backers, for different reasons. So let's say it this way, this is a project I think doesn't belong on the very good list, but also not on a very bad list, somewhere between. And it's the only one I have in this case, so I put it here more on the bad list because it took some years for the people behind this project to say what's going on. But at the end, they tried everything to redeem themselves, and I personally think what they did worked out. And yeah, so I want to talk just a short period about the game Kitsune of Foxes and Fools by Ian Price. Now you can see the project has been finished. I couldn't have the card game in my hands if this wasn't the case. So now, what was the problem with this one? To be honest, this had to do with one specific part of the only with a specific part of the project, because when they started this project, they wanted to do not only the standard game but also a special edition of this one. And yes, I was one of the backers there, and the problem that was they had really big ideas with this one, a wooden box with extra art and everything behind it. And the problem was they gave a long time for finishing this one. I think over 1.5 years, but they couldn't reach that finishing point. And to be honest, I said it in my first episode, you never will, or not all the projects will make it to their release date, and will take longer, because let's face it, some of the people behind these projects, some creators, don't have an idea how to work it, and if there's a problem, everything can go wrong, and the project will take longer. There will be projects where they will reach the release date, but it's something everyone should always think about. This is one, if they don't release if they don't reach the release date, it's not meant that this is a bad project. So this is one thing you always should remember. So yes, okay, now this, in this specific case, they said it will take another year, and after that it took another year for them to give another update, that it will take another year. And this is something I have to say that was one thing I really hated in this case, because they never gave any extra updates. They only said, yes, it will take longer, it will take longer, it will take longer. They released another game, they did other Kickstarter projects in the meantime, always give updates when what's with these projects, but not what was with special edition. They gave no information. Then they said it will take another year. Then they said yes, they know that it took now so long, and then they said they will work on it. They had new drawings and so on. And in the end, they closed the project. The problem was that there were health issues in the family of the creators, and in my eyes, they should have told us a little bit earlier, and just not that we didn't need to know who had the problems or something, but they should have said it, that there was something specific going on behind the scenes, and that they weren't able to reach that date, and they don't know if they will finish this special edition. And I think nobody would have said something, because this is something you never... The finished version was already on the market, and for the people who ordered the or backed for the special edition, they sent without an extra cost, they sent the standard game too, so that they were able to play it. So this was one of the good moves at the beginning. After that, like I said, the update, the way they put it, the updates for at least 2 years was a really bad move, and this is why I said this project is on a bad category, because they only said it will be done, it will be done, it will be done, but never said what's the reason behind all these everything, that they don't show us anything or something like this. And in the end, I said they redeemed themselves. They did this because after they closed down, they said they won't create it. It's not possible for them because of money issues, the health issues that were there. They gave refunds. They sent out posters, t-shirts. So they wanted that the people who spent their money there get something into their hands. So they did everything. They sent out checks, and you had so many options to choose. So it's not only you get a thank you postcard, but they really wanted you to have something. They were really sorry that this all happened, and they said to themselves also that the way they did the updates was their fault. They at the end they saw what they did wrong in so many cases. So this is, like I said, this is an example that even if you have a bad project, it doesn't mean that the project will end in bad blood, because I hadn't the feeling that the backers were that angry about what happened. And also, like I said, they wanted to refund everything. They wanted to give their backers something. And like I said, they have sent out the game for at a very early stage that the people could play this game. So again, you can see that there's always a thin line where there could be projects that at first see like a scam or something like that can be finished with a happy face in so many cases. So just to let you know that if you're mad at one point at a project, that it mustn't stay that way, that there could be a light at the end of the tunnel. This won't be for the following ones I want to talk about. The first one I will talk about today, I already have talked about this one. Let's say I mentioned all of them I will talk about today. But the first one was from Matthew Mark McLachlan, who did the Fidget Cube Kickstarter. Now, many people know about the Fidget Cube, and if you never have seen it, I'm not sure if I have mine. No, I don't see mine now at the moment. But it's a small desktop toy where you can just fidget around, and the end product wasn't bad. Let's say this way, I really quite like it. This project had one specific problem. It was about giving out updates and how to communicate with your with the people who backed you. Now, the first problem, and here I have to admit, there was something that they didn't account for, and that was that this project exploded. I think they just wanted to do a small series about that. I think they wanted, I have to check, but I think it was $15,000, and they got over. They went over 1 million. So this was a project that was nearly everywhere in the media, and they got so many extra backers just from the media alone. And the problem I had with this project was they gave a release date at the end of the year, and after they saw that this whole project exploded, they gave a second release date for the second half of the backers until to a specific date. Now, I was one of the backers that found the project and just thought it was interesting before I knew that this one was a media there was a media frenzy about this one. So I think the whole project went good until the first release date. This is when this whole thing went downhill. The problem, I think, was they tried to still release them in time. They said that everything is going on, everything is working out, and they're working on it, and nothing more. And after the first release date passed, some got their cubes and some not. But they never really, they said that they're working on it and working on it and working on it, but they never get specific details of what is happening. And this is something you should do, because one thing you should remember, the backers are the people who funded your project. They gave you the money that you can create what you had in mind. And so I personally think the backers, they really should know what's going on. So if you are creating different kind of colors and there isn't a way that you can finish all the colors until to a specific point, then talk with the people out there. Just give them the information that because of this whole media frenzy, you had to overwork everything, because you never thought that there was a possibility that so many people would buy this and want to get these. And this brings us to the second problem, because this one is one of the few cases where I think they resignated, because many people who backed this project thought that Kickstarter is a store. Even if everywhere it stands, Kickstarter isn't a store. But they said because in the description there was a release date, they will get it to this specific release date. And this was the second problem, because now you had your community against you, and you didn't do anything to help it. You always said you will do it, everything will work out, everything will go on, but as far as I know, they never catched up with all the complaints. There were very few times they said anything in the comment sections. There was very few updates after the initial release. And also the biggest problem was that this, like I said, I got mine nearly half a year ago, and I know that still not everyone got their cubes, and they still give updates that everything is fine, everything is going on, they will release them, and I think this is something you never should do. If you have problems, be honest with be 100% honest with your backers. Yes, I know you can't tell everything, and you can't show specific. If you have production problems, or if your equipment doesn't work, you just tell your backers that your equipment doesn't work. Yeah, that you can't. You were surprised by how many people there are, how many backers. That everything will take a little bit more time. Don't go there and say you will be in time, you will be in time, you will be in time, because you never will be in time. If you have planned for, let's say, 1,000 cubes, and you have to send over 150,000, I mean, every normal person knows that this is nearly impossible, because you have to check out. You have to speak with your manufacturer. Are they even able to create these many? And if you have also tried to do special color variations and that, this makes it even harder, because you have to first you have to check out how many of every variation you need. Are you able to create all of them? Are you able to send them out in time? And this is something like I said, I think this is a great example how not to communicate with your community and your backers, because this is something where when you say everything is fine, your backers don't get them, then they see that some backers get them, and they order them, they went on the Kickstarter months after, and when there's someone saying, hey, he pre-ordered over the website after the campaign and got them, and you never really talk about these problems and never say what went wrong, you won't get any answer. The people will start getting mad, getting angry, and you never will recover from this one. So always be honest with your people. This is just an example how to not communicate with your backers. The next project, also something a little bit about communication and how if you have planned different kind of Kickstarters or Kickstarter project, how not to release them. Now I'm coming to the special cases. This is a warning. This is the first warning I will give out, and it's about the creator Dunn, who, let's say, many people know from his Ninja High School series. And it's also about the Ninja High School series he wanted to release or reprint in this case. And in this case, yes, he releases the books. The backers get them. The problem is when and what everything. Now, here's a case where we have a creator I think he doesn't want help. He just wants to bring everything on his own and release everything on his own. So he created his first Kickstarter project, and that wasn't really. It went great. It wasn't in time, but I got nearly everything except one of the stretch goals. But I'm always behind the normal tiers, and when I'm behind a book, I only accept the book. The extras aren't what's for me in this case. Then came his second project, the second Ninja High School book, and also a project he called Science is Magic, a 4-part miniseries. I think this was 3 years ago. He has only created the first issue. We have never seen the other issues, and I have backed the second Ninja High School book. I'm still waiting on it. In the meantime, he's, I think, at book 5 or 6, or the volume 5 or 6. I'm still waiting from my drawing he has promised me for the third book. I got the fourth book, but not in the way I have wanted it. And this is going on, I think, now for 1.5 years. He is very, very rarely where he answers your questions. Sometimes yes. Sometimes just you have just a feeling that he wants to say something, that he said something. But most of the time he is just vanished. If you have a project, and if you're doing many projects, one thing you never do is vanish. You have to be there. You have to show your backers that you want to take care of them, that you are behind the projects. If you open a new project and not everyone from the last project got their rewards, You have to work on that, and not just say, yes, I have planned that all 3 to 4 months I make a new project, and then when that's done I do the next project. And that's bullshit. You have to concentrate on one project. If you have 10 projects, everything won't work, because you start with the first one. When there's something not working, then you won't make it in time. Then the second one hits the market. Then you have 2 projects to worry about. Then the third project, and so on. You never will finish one project, because you have now 10 projects you have to work with, but you never will finish them, because you lose focus on what you're working on. You won't find out what's working. In my case, I just give you an example what happened. Now, he started his fifth project to the Ninja High School series. I posted, and I backed it for $1, and I posted that I'm really pissed off, because I haven't heard from him. I haven't seen the second book. I haven't seen the fourth book. I'm still waiting on my my print of the third book. And my commission work in this case, and these aren't cheap. I at least I paid $100 to $150 for them, and like I said, I don't expect them to be finished. But if a project won't finish, I want to hear the honest reason from the creator why it won't be finished and why he can't do it. Just to create the next project and the next project, it's bullshit. It's absolutely bullshit. And now he said yes, he will talk about. I sent him a message over Kickstarter. I sent him more emails. I never heard from him. I never heard an answer. The last time I heard, he said both commissions I will get from him are done and are sent out. I got 1 commission. So this is a big warning. I wanted to give him a last chance, but no, not here. If you're interested backing a project from Ben Dunn, just don't leave it, or just keep in mind, if you want to back him, then it will take years, possible months, that you will receive your rewards when they will release. Science is Magic, also a backer, still waiting for the last 3 issues. I don't think they will be released sometime. I don't think he will finish them. In this case, he's just doing too much, and at this point, I have to say, I think he's doing them just to make some money on the quick on the side. I'm really not sure how he's managing this thing. Yes, people get their rewards, or at least some people get their rewards, but not all of them. And just be careful. This is just an example how not to create more projects without finishing one project. Never do that. And always communicate with your backers. When they send you an email, a message, answer them. They are the people who sent you the money to create what you wanted to do. Don't piss them off. And if you had a great project that sent you that gave you over 300-400 backers, and now you only, if you have luck, you only get 1/4 of that. Think about it, why this is happening. Yeah, there is a reason why people don't trust you anymore. When you don't finish your project, and he has a lot of projects he didn't finish. So this is, like I said, this is a special case where I have to say, warning to all future backers of Ben Dunn. He's still a possibility that he can redeem himself, but I'm not sure if he will do this. So if he will do this, I will apologize, but at this time, this is the one. Never back him, never support him. Never. Yeah? Or if you want to support him, think about what can happen. Yeah? This is one of the cases I really lost a lot of money. I gave him so many chances. He always pissed on them. He never showed me that he's really behind his backers. So if you never had problems with him, good for you. I had problems with him. I have still problems with him. The way he's managing his Kickstarter projects. So from my side, warning: don't back him. This brings us to the next and final one I want to talk about today, and this one is one of the persons that really pisses me off a lot, because this is one of the persons I think really said to his backers, fuck you, because the way he managed to fuck everything off is amazing. Yes, again, this is a project that somehow finished, or at least some projects got finished, but not everything. And the way that the way this went colossally bad is amazing. This is one you should never back, and we are talking about Paul Jenkins. Some will remember this name because I think he has wrote for Marvel or DC some comics, or at least he draw for them. He did, I think, 4 projects. One was a specific kind of book, and I'm not sure. I haven't read that and don't follow that. Then there were the 2 Fairy Quest books and the Fiction Squad book. Now, one thing I should mention: I really liked Fairy Quest. I really liked Fiction Squad. I read them, and I think they are great books. They are great art. I really like them. But I would never support him again, because I'm still waiting for the hardcover of Fiction Squad, and the Fairy Quest one was amazingly bad. What they did. Okay, what went wrong? First, he disappeared. He said, "Fuck it, I have another gig. I will do that," and he left everything to Kaboom Studios. They had to get everything, and they had the feeling that they didn't know what to do, because they tried to get everything right, but I had the feeling they didn't have any plan what happened. So now, where did this whole thing started going wrong? The first thing what happened was the Fairy Quest 2 Outcast Kickstarter project was where I backed him the first time. I backed him, like I said, 2 times: Fiction Squad and Fairy Quest 2 Outcast. Now, when I get in the second volume, and this was the first time I saw this one, and this is where I started learning that you have to check out old Kickstarter projects from the persons to know what happened in there, because this was a time where I thought Kickstarter project, when they did one and to do a second one, they had already some experience with this. So now, after I seen this, I went for the special edition, and can check if I have them here. Now, a special edition was on hardcover. I can show it to you. I hope you can see it this way. And this one was set. It will have some kind of label. It will be signed and everything. And I thought, after seeing that there was still some leftovers from the special edition from the first one, I thought I would go for a tier where also, or let's say this way, I was first interested in the statue that came with it. And after seeing that you were able to add them, and I added also the first volume as a special edition. Now, he said that after the project was finished and the first things should go out, that there was something, I think that the garage where everything was stored went full of water and everything was destroyed. They only got out some of the statues because they weren't stored there, and they wanted to start sending them out. Okay. I mean, he gave a reason. He gave a reason. It could be we never saw pictures, but this could have different reasons. But he never showed us what was going on in this case. After a time, I thought, no, why didn't they at least send the statues out? He said always they will be out, and Boom Studios will do this, and they will send out. But nothing happened. Some people tried to send emails, but no reaction. And also Boom Studios, they try to give, some people said they got answers, some said they don't got answers. But after some time, I got the special edition for the second book. Okay, I thought, it's going on. Again, some time later, I still haven't heard that. And at this time, also the people started in the comment section started to get pissed off sometime, because nobody knew what was going on. He said he had new gigs and so on. He's working on that and that and that, but nothing happened for a while. And then I got the statue, or the figure in this case. I was happy first. I opened it. I never opened this box again. I haven't put the figure out. The chemical smell in this one was so amazing that without knowing where this figure came from, I knew this was a reprint. Someone, they didn't, I have the feeling they didn't have these figures, they just manufactured them, but never said they had to manufacture. They always said they are there, they can be sent out. If they were over, now, at this point they had to be over 1.5 years old, at least, and from the beginning of this project, they shouldn't stink like that. They're always open. This is not just a whole plastic casing and everything. This was an open box. So, and I'm collecting figures. I'm collecting figures for now over 7 years now. So I know when how a new figure smells and how an old figure smells, or a figure who wasn't put out their package. So, but this one was just too new. The smell was just too new and too extreme. I'm not sure what chemicals are in there, and I try not to think about this one, and I'm not keen to find out what's in them. And this is the second part where I thought something is really going wrong in here, and it took another year until I got the second book of this one, and I'm still waiting for the hardcover of Fiction Squad, but I think this one, in this case, Boom Studios doesn't give a shit anymore. I don't think I get it. From Paul Jenkins at this point, we haven't heard since 2 years. I think he doesn't give a crap about this one, his projects. He just said, okay, Boom Studios can do that. I don't care. I don't think. For me, it's just this case. He took a part of the money and ran. He just needed some money, put it on there, saw it worked. He finished the comics, so in this case I can't blame him, but I'm not sure what happened here, and I'm not sure if he will ever do another one. It's sad because, like I said, I want to see this book finished, but I never could support him again. Another part is about his books. They are released, and you can buy them in stores, and some backers still don't got the books, so I don't know what's going on here. So, another part, don't be an asshole. Never be an ass and start doing, just drop your backers. Never do that. It's just, or just go to, give the work to another, to someone who hasn't done anything. Yes, Boom Studios printed these things and sent them out. But it's your responsibility to tell your backers what's going on, and not just leave everything behind and say, okay, now it's your turn to work on this one. Yeah, and the quality is absolutely bad. In not the comic itself, but the rest of the quality. I did nearly a half an hour where I talked about overlays. I won't do that again today because it will go overboard with time. But keep that in mind. If you work with it, always give updates to your backers. Keep them updated. Even if you're just saying "I live," it will help out, but not just piss off and leave everything behind. Yeah. Yes, this is one of the projects that really pissed me off because everything went wrong. Yeah. Again, I'm not here because I'm not pissed off because it could have been that I never received them. I'm just pissed off of all the lies that went there. And never ever lie. If you create a Kickstarter project, never lie to your backers. If there's something you can't tell them, just say you can't tell them everything, but keep them in the loop. Not just stop something and don't do anything. Please, never do that. Never. Okay, yeah, sorry. If I went a little bit overboard with this one, I think we have nearly half an hour now, and over half an hour now about this one. Yeah, just keep in mind, these are just some of the experience I had, and I hope these are things that people will remember in the future and try to avoid, at least the creators, and also that people who started backing Kickstarter project see signs where there is something. Always check out, if you think someone had 10 projects, check them out. Read the comments. Always read the comments. Yes, the creators can delete them, but some are too lazy to do it from the old projects. So mostly you will find information in the old projects. And if you see someone from project 2 or 3 years ago who says he never received anything, be cautious. It could be that one fell through the holes. But if there are 5, 6, 7, 8 backers who say the same thing, think about before backing, because the possibility that this one will go wrong in so many ways will be there. Just keep that in mind. Yeah, so sorry to give this long speech, but yeah, this is just some really bad examples what happened, and I just wanted to give them out, like I said, to give you some ideas what you can experience on the bad and ugly side of Kickstarter. But keep in mind, like I said, because a project goes wrong at some point, it doesn't mean that this is intentional, that this person is a scammer. Like I said, Ian Price and Kitsune of Foxes and Fools is a great example how you can come back from a very bad campaign, and I think there are many more examples out there that went the same way, where the people at the last point went a good way. I know there are a lot of still bad examples out there, but it's not my way to talk about things I wasn't part of. But if you're interested in them, there are many other video series out there where they talk a little bit more about this, and one of them is DJ Slope. I will leave a link down below to his Kickstarter Scammer, so that you can see what I mean, that there are worse projects out there. But again, like I said, this is just my experience and how I reacted, and I hope I think you have seen how pissed off I got about the Paul Jenkins part. And yeah, even if you weren't part, it's very interesting just to read what happened in these projects and the updates that you can read. Some are closed only for backers, but again, it's an interesting experience to check out. And also, one thing, I wanted to do a little bit longer about this one, but this is just a footnote I wanted to put at the end. If you're interested in creating a game and want to back it, to get it supported over Kickstarter or funded over Kickstarter, please do one thing only. Never give a release date, or at least put it in a very position very far beyond, not 10-20 years, but not 6 months or something like that. Put updates out there at least monthly, or at least every 6 weeks, that there's something happening. And if your release date you gave just happened to be there and you're still not finished, don't disappear and give maybe in a half a year a new update, because this is something that also pisses me off. Because sometimes you have the feeling people or creators who create these Kickstarter projects for games think that they only must give updates until the one specific release date, and after that no new updates. I backed a lot of Kickstarter projects and games where this happened, and I'm not sure why this is the thing, but yeah, don't do it. I know this is speaking a little bit broadly, but people who back the project, a gaming project at Kickstarter, know what I mean, because at least once this happened to all of these backers. Okay, so yeah, thanks for watching this very long now, 40-minute, nearly 40-minute video, and next time I will talk a little bit more about reward tiers and what I think, what you can expect, and maybe what creators can do a little bit different, and also what people should do when they try to find one that they think works best for them. So again, thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye.